Well, go ahead and call the Finance and Audit Committee meeting for Tuesday, June 18th, 2024 to order. And Ms. Cindy, can we get a roll call?
Mr. Toller?
Here.
Mr. Anthony?
Here.
Ms. Dominguez?
Present.
Mr. Duncan?
All right. First order of business is to discuss the accounts payable check register for April 16th, 2024 to May 15th, 2024 in the amount of $20,738,824.31. Mr. McNeely.
I believe y'all all received that by email. I've not gotten any questions regarding those. If you have any tonight, I can take them back and get you answers.
Okay. Do we have any committee member questions or comments? Nope. All right. Item B is update on sales tax. Mr. McNeely.
All right.
Which one you want to look at?
Just put one up there and I'll start. All right. So this is the history of our half penny. As you can see, so far this year, it was down 4 months, but it's been up the other months. And this last month in May, it was actually up 11.47%. So we want to continue to encourage our people to shop at home. We're seeing a difference in our revenue, and that directly affects the raises that we're able to give our staff. Ms. Cindy, if you can put this one up, EFID.
It's up.
Fund balance, okay. If you remember, can you just a little bit when we get the dates at the bottom?
Yes,
There we
sir.
go, perfect. So if you look at October the 31st of 2023 to November 30th, you see that's where that dip is in the fund balance. That's when we paid the stipend last year. There was a concern with not to be able to too much raise, that it would always just keep going down. So I can report back, those are actual numbers. So that fund balance is holding and growing slowly like we hoped it would. So by next November, we'll have the same thing. We'll see it drop down when we pay that stipend, and hopefully it'll continue to hold where it's at. So that's good news that correlates to the sales tax numbers that we've seen, as well as the pay. And this does include the payment of the $25 additional hours. That's being paid out of there, as well as the raises from last year. So
Gotcha.
With that 11% jump in June, will we see a bigger spike in this? Will that be reported in the?
possibly, it depends on what payroll was, because there's two numbers. There's money going in and money going out.
I got you.
And what this is tracking is that there's still a little bit more money going in than there is money going out on a monthly
That's
basis.
always a good thing.
Yes, yes. All right.
I remember that from counting.
You should just know that from your left pocket and your right pocket. It's
Exactly.
always better for money going in the pocket than going out. All right, same thing on our 2-cent sales tax. It was up 9.41%. We're looking at about a 1% increase for the year, which is great. We were hoping it would be at least flat, so we're up a little bit. I'm going to be Nostradamus here for just a second. Based on that number to the right, you see versus 2019. Our 2019 increase, and this is pre-COVID to where we are today, is running in the 40%. If that holds true, then we're going to have about a 12% increase in June over the previous June.
Right.
Don't hold me to it, but the data
Makes
shows
sense.
that we're going to, which would give us about a 2% increase for the year, which would be really, really good. And the reason that that's good, if you can show my next chart. We've talked about I've been doing this for 30 years, 30 plus years, and the parish-wide retail sales is increased at about a clip of 4 to 4.5% historically. That's what the orange line is. So you can see from 2011 through 2020, it went above the line, it comes back to the line, but it pretty much stays around that 4.5%. In 2020, you had a massive amount of federal money poured into our community through COVID. In 21, you had a massive amount of money poured into our community through Ida, which caused that big bump. Now, after Katrina, that bump came back down to the orange line. What I was hoping is that with the increase in Amazon and online sales, that we would see a sustained growth, and it would basically create a new 4.5% line. it looks like that's happening. Now, we're still very early in that. The national economy could collapse next year, but it looks like, and I talked to y'all about this about a year ago, it looks like this new normal may be permanent. So that doesn't mean we have a whole lot of extra money. It means that we can continue to do what we're doing. Okay?
Right. Item C, consider approval of the 2023-2024 revised budget. Mr. McNeely.
All right, you should have received the revised budget Thursday as an email and a PDF. This is this current year's budget that ends on this June the 30th, and this is a revised amendment to that budget. We'll be presenting next year's budget in July for the next operating year. The biggest changes in this budget are about a $13 million increase in revenues. Part of that is interest, part of that is some of the taxes, but most of that is the state passing the stipend so they had to fund that. So that was additional MFP money that we did not have when we did the original budget. So increase of about 14 million in revenues. We have an increase of about $16 million in expenses. Most of that is the additional salaries from the stipends that the MFP money paid for. We had an increase in legal fees due to some bills that had to be paid that were for several years. I'm not going to go into the details, but y'all are aware of what those were. Increase in school security, and a significant increase in vocational education, and we also had a $1 million increase in our property insurance and other insurance. If y'all remember, we did that this year. So those are the main items that are increases in the budget, both revenue side and expenditure side, which create about a $2.2 million additional deficit, but that is before we've moved the ESSER funds that are paying for some of it. So I anticipate when everything is said and done that we will be very close to a baseline revenues matching expenditures for this year and carry over about a $26 million fund balance in the next year. Okay.
Cool. Do we have any questions or comments from the committee or from the board? And no public comment. With that being said, meeting is adjourned.
We have to approve
You
it.
have to vote on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was an action item. I apologize.
Oh, Mr. McNeely.
Not opposed.
There we go. Well, Ms. Cindy, you want to just call for vote? Thank you.
I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the revised budget.
Second.
Voting is open. Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, with that being said, meeting is adjourned.